News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Wednesday on Wall Street, where stocks rose to a session high as Fed Chair Jay Powell spoke after the Fed cut interest rates by another 0.25%. And we do check these markets for you all day long here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 46 points, NASDAQ gained 78, and the Dow jumped 498 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.14% and the 2-year yield at 3.53%. Now, while the Fed was divided, Fed Chair Powell says the discussions showed fairly broad support.
The discussions we have are as good as any we've had in my 14 years at the Fed. They're very thoughtful, respectful, and you just have people who have strong views. And, we come together and we reach, a place where we can make a decision. We made a decision today. We had, 9 out of 12 supported it. So fairly broad support.
Two regional Fed presidents, Austin Goolsbee from Chicago and Jeff Schmid from Kansas City, voted against the decision, preferring to keep rates unchanged. Governor Stephen Miron, whom Trump appointed to the central bank, dissented in favor of a larger half-point reduction. Next year's dot plot suggests only one cut coming. Fed Chair Powell.
I don't think that a rate hike is anybody's base case at this point, and I'm not hearing that. What you see is some people feel we should stop here and that we're at the right place and just wait. Some people feel like we should cut once or more this year and next year.
Powell says inflation may be peaking soon as the labor market cools. Oil futures erased earlier declines after U.S. forces intercepted and seized a sanctioned oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, a move that marks a serious escalation of tensions between the two countries. President Trump.
As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people.
The president did not give any further details. It is the Trump administration's latest push to increase pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who has been charged with narco-terrorism in the United States. DeepSea, a Chinese AI startup, has reportedly used banned Nvidia chips for its next model. The information reports Nvidia's Blackwell chips were smuggled into China through countries that permitted their sale. Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow.
Those servers were dismantled and the chips were smuggled into China, according to the information's report, even passing inspections by server companies that are authorized to do business. So there is some disconnect there.
In a statement, Nvidia said it has not seen any substantiation or received tips of the kind of operation the information described. Bloomberg's Maggie Eastland.
Nvidia has said that these smuggling claims are a bit far-fetched in its own words, and while it investigates every tip it receives, it hasn't seen evidence of this.
ByteDance and Alibaba have inquired about placing large orders for Nvidia's H200 chips since President Trump said he would allow those exports to China. That's according to Reuters, citing people familiar with the matter. The companies are waiting for the green light from China. Meta's Mark Zuckerberg is getting personally involved in day-to-day work and pivoting the company's focus to an artificial intelligence model where it can make a little money. Bloomberg Intelligence senior tech analyst Mandeep Singh.
Meta really doubled down on open source before. Now they are saying we will use Alibaba Qwen as the baseline, Google Gemma, which are open source models, and do our own fine-tuning on top of that so that we make that model more useful quickly as opposed to doing everything from scratch, which is what they were doing before.
Bloomberg's Mandeep Singh says this is likely a harbinger for Meta to raise their capex for 2026. Brian Kahn, the former CEO of Franchise Group, pleaded guilty to defrauding hedge fund investors of about $300 million. Kahn admitted he conspired to commit securities fraud at Prophecy Asset Management, where he secretly acted as a top trader while also building Franchise Group into a publicly traded company. He faces up to 5 years in prison. A judge has ruled secret grand jury transcripts from Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case can be made public. The judge reversed his earlier decision to keep that material under wraps, citing a new law that requires the government to open its files on Epstein and his longtime confidant Ghislaine Maxwell by December 19th. A Bloomberg News exclusive on this. A trove of more than 18,000 emails from Epstein's Yahoo account shows several big names on Wall Street continued to stay in contact with the financier, even after stories about his underage victims came to light. We get more from Bloomberg's John Tucker in New York.
Just weeks after Jeffrey Epstein was charged with soliciting prostitution, he received a coveted invitation from a wealth manager, a shot at investing with the hedge fund Renaissance Technologies. A rising star at Smith Barney named Greg Hirsch wrote an email to Epstein's office about the investment, and Epstein jumped at the chance. Hirsch said through a spokesperson that his interactions with Epstein were solely professional and ended in 2007 before he learned of Epstein's crimes. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.